A national champion is set to be determined in 2023 for high school 8-man football. And it brings us to the 5-time defending national champions, the Evangel Christian School Lightning, colliding with, in their first appearance in the NHSA national game, the Providence Athletic Club. Let's go ahead and welcome the third member of our broadcast crew, Allie. Please stand by on the sideline. Alex.
Welcome down to the field, ladies and gentlemen, for some national championship football. Yes, you heard that right, national championship football. PAC Panthers, never been to the national championship before, but this is their moment right now. Other side of the ball, the Evangel Lightning, going for their 6th straight national title. Can they do it? A David and definitely Goliath moment today for the national championship. A little bit of rain that just fell on my forehead, but it doesn't matter. This is football. Let's go play. Back up to the booth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2023. Need it on the speakers, please. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2023 NHSA National Championship for High School 8-Man Football. On behalf of the NHSA and 8-Man Extreme, we thank you for attending at Vernon High School in Vernon, Florida, and tuning in on YouTube to join us in celebrating a great season of athletic excellence. Let's meet the two teams participating in tonight's final contest of 2023. They finished the regular season as the number 5 team in the nation with an 11-1 overall record, won in Saturday's semifinal 38-24 against the Tennessee Heat, and will play in the Southern Independent Football Association Championship next weekend as their number 1 overall seed. In their first ever appearance in the national championship, give it up for tonight's away team, the Providence Athletic Club Panthers. They finished the regular season as the number 1 team in the nation with a 12-0 overall record as the champions of the Alabama Christian Sports Conference, and won in Saturday's semifinal 52-14 against the Fort Wayne Crusaders. Give it up for tonight's home team and the 5-time defending national champions, the Evangel Christian School Lightning. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps for a word of prayer from public address announcer Mike St. Dennis. Heading to the center of the field now are the captains for tonight's contest. For the PAC Panthers, number 20, Jance Lamb. Hey, turn up the amp on the soundboard. We're still introducing captains. Heading to the center of the field now are the captains for tonight's contest. For the PAC Panthers, number 3, Cam Humans. Number 20, Jance Lamb. And number 34, Sean McNulty.
The Vernon High School field for the 2023 National Championship. Panthers, you're the visiting team. We'll call you blue. Lightning, the home team, call you white. I got a coin here. The NCAA National Championship is heads. The City of Carolina is tails. What is your call?
Tails.
Tails is called. It is heads. Lightning, you won the toss.
We'll defer.
Lightning has deferred their option. You want the football? Which way you want to kick? Flip it over.
Tell him to cut it off when he's done.
Panthers will get the ball. Have a good, clean game, guys.
Turn down the amp. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a long build-up on the season to get here. Long time coming as the Evangel Lightning, 5-time defending national champions, set to kick it away. They deferred the choice to the second half, and the PAC Panthers in their first ever appearance in the NHSA National Championship. They were here before in 2019, took a loss to the Freedom Cowboys, as well as a loss in the semifinal to Ezel Harding. And it's been a fun weekend. Time to conclude with one of the best games we're ever going to have this whole season.
And I think this should be a great game, as PAC Panther has given the challenge to Tennessee Heat, and please believe Evangel's here to defend their home.
And we are underway with a high squib kick that goes to the 44-yard line, and we will see the PAC offense go first. And so many accolades you could say about Cam Humans, the star quarterback. We talked about on Saturday how the mantra that sometimes happens of coach's son, and he's put in the work on the offensive and defensive side to quench all of those potential accusations.
And he's a huge leader, and the main reason why they're here today, and he's here to show what he can do with this team against Evangel. This is probably one of his biggest tests of this year.
Their offensive coordinator, Coach Fremming, told us on the field beforehand, we'll talk about that in a minute, as they will just have it to Humans up the middle for a gain of about 3-4 yards. The offensive coordinator, Coach Fremming, told us beforehand he was looking at the film study and just scratching his head, in essence, and not sure what he was going to do in terms of facing off against the Evangel defense. They were trying to figure out what they wanted to do. Him and Coach Yeomans both expressed very clearly that they know that this defensive line is going to punch you in the gut, hit you in the mouth, and be aggressive, and that's what they're trying to heat off on this first offensive drive. Gained 4 on the last play. They'll keep the option, and the ball is loose. It's already out, and I think the Lightning fell on it, and it's marked down, and it's a turnover. Grady Watkins, the senior, his first fumble recovery of the season.
And as you said, they come in, they punch you hard. Look at this. Everybody's cutting through, and it's just a perfect hit on the ball, and turnover already by the Evangel.
Exactly what they needed with deferring the choice to the second half, and now we'll see the Lightning offense. You know, last year, Will Welch was the starting quarterback. They turned it over to Kemp Swords on the leadership role, and he's been incredible in his own right. A QBR of 128.6 on the season, 27 touchdowns and 5 interceptions heading into the weekend.
Both head coach and offensive coordinator has said he has been a huge help in this offensive play.
And they'll start off, they'll have Swords keep it on the left side, heading up to about the 35, and he'll be brought down from behind by Sean McNulty.
And this defensive line and PAC Panthers, they're going to have to adjust now as they're used to the Tennessee Heat going straight up the middle. Now from Evangel, they like to go from either side off the tackle or hit a nice little screen route as they go forward.
Makes it a gain of about 8 yards for a 2nd and 2. Swords will just opt to give it to Cade Joyner, who's been great on the rushing game in his own right. A flag down from the backside. We'll hear from Nate Starr for the first time today, as it's a flag pending the result of the rest of the story. It is a first down for Cade Joyner. Break for this PAC secondary, because whenever you have those explosive plays by Evangel, need every chance and every opportunity you can get. It brings it back to a 2nd and 10.
And you don't have time to really breathe right now, because Evangel will come back and get those yards straight back. We've seen it before countless times.
From the 43-yard line, here's Swords up the middle to the right side. Swords going to get the first down by himself and brought down at about the 28-yard line.
As I announced, they're getting those yards back easily as Swords got that easy first down. And like I said, they're going to go off the tackle probably more and disable this PAC Panthers defensive line.
And Swords, a great quarterback, but in the rushing game heading into the weekend, 100 carries for 923 yards. And averages anytime he keeps the ball, he's essentially getting a first down. Here he is again. Swords will keep it himself, as he does so well to the left side. Swords down to about the 29-yard line, brought down by Kyler Barkley.
Kyle Barkley heard a lot from on Saturday, and please believe you will hear a lot from him today. He has been a big help on this defense when it comes to the secondary, when it comes to tackling, when it comes to the run game.
We hear a rubber ducky squeaking from the Evangel sideline. Wonder what kind of superstition is involved with that.
Hey, anything to make some noise for the team, I guess.
2nd and 7. On the 2nd and 7, Swords is looking for the pass to the left side. He is incomplete. Pass intended for Clay Stanton. 17 catches on the year for 320 yards. Usually gets 2 first downs in essence whenever he catches the ball. Misses a catch there.
I'm sure the wind had a hard effect on that throw, and he was also trying to make sure he wasn't out of bounds and able to catch it inside, so it's a good first down.
This PAC defense trying to get a stand after the ball turning over on a fumble. Swords alone in the shotgun. Looking for a quick option. He'll toss it up and out, and this one, Stanton he finds this time, and the carry goes to about the 25-yard line. You talk about tempo setting in the start of any sort of contest like this. This is an important stop going to 4th down and about 3, especially because whenever Evangel is marching it down the field, usually they have these explosive plays and are so creative with it. But for the PAC defense in this very loud stadium, is able to shut down this Evangel offense. It'll be big going into the rest of the game.
And that's the key play for their defense. They're going to have to keep this team contained at all times, because you know they're willing to go for it, especially on the PAC's on field.
They'll go for it on a 4th and short. Swords going to toss it to the right side. The catch is made, a first down. That's Will Welch with the reception, and moves the chains inside of the 20 for the first down.
And if for those that was wondering if Will Welch was healthy enough, it looks like he's quite fine, as he got hurt at the end of the last game of Saturday, and he seems all right as he gets a good catch for the first down.
New set of downs for the Evangel Lightning on 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. The Lightning trying to strike first, and we have a flag there. Looks like a false start. Break for the Evangel offense to move it up 5 yards, just outside the 10. You can tell the noise is starting to have a little bit of a factor here. The Evangel Lightning fan base is certainly bring the decibel level in a high manner.
You can definitely tell Evangel, this is mostly family. This is not just the football team. The parents is all involved, and everybody else probably in their community.
Swords looking for the option right side. He's got high up, great clean coverage. The pass intended for Austin, and Sean McNulty denying the chance for a catch.
And he is hype and ready to go. This defense is ready to take on this big challenge against Evangel, and they look just right in order to stop this team. Hopefully they can.
Second and 5. Swords has Welch in motion. He'll keep it himself on the deception. Up the middle. Swords for the touchdown. The Lightning strike first.
And it's all about deception on that play. You have a guy running across the field right here, and then it's just up to Swords. Everybody's blocking, and he has nothing but green grass ahead of him.
Capitalizing on a fumble recovery and a chance to make it a 7-point lead as they will trust Kai Gray, the junior, for the point after. And whistles blown for the flag. Kai Gray will get a little bit closer to the goal line in terms of attempting the PAT, but they'll actually bring out Kemp Swords. They'll go for 2 with the closer advantage. Still in high school football, you have the the extra point attempt done from the 2-yard line with still moving up there from the 1. Chance to go up 8-0. Swords will carry it up the middle himself. Got the touchdown and got the 2-point conversion.
And what a smart play. They saw it was closer, so why not use Kemp Swords again to get that easy 2-point conversion.
8-0 for the Lightning with 7:22 left to go in the first quarter. Evangel capitalizes on the fumble. The Evangel Lightning capitalizing off of a fumble recovery. It's the first drive of the game for the PAC Panthers. They'll have to try to make it back here, especially as we've seen the trend in the national championship the last couple of years. The Lightning managed to go up early, and this will be fake onside kick attempt and just booted deep and picked up from the 20. This will be an attempted return brought down at about the 27. Return attempt by Braden Sheely. Now, Coach Yeomans, I should say, also talked to us prior to this afternoon's contest, and they were excited for the opportunity on the first national championship appearance, and mentioned they weren't necessarily expecting to be here in a sense, which you try to gauge your team in the first few weeks of the season and figure out what it is you're going to do. It just seemed like an overall sense of gratitude for the Panthers to be in this situation.
And I'm sure that's for any team, but mainly them. If you're not expected to make the national championship and now you're here, you might as well take advantage of it too while you're here and try to win and put as much competition against Evangel. And
this is a carry up the middle by Yeomans. He'll get a gain of about 5 yards. And in our sort of production meetings over the last couple of evenings leading up to tonight, we talked about this idea of both the Panthers and the Lightning. They both don't have an issue with depth on their rosters, and that seems to be sometimes the trend of teams that come to the national championship where they don't have as many players in their roster, but they've been incredible on the season. And for this competition, it's a closer matchup in terms of numbers. As a keeper up the middle, that was Jance Lamb, who went up to gain a couple of yards to bring up a 3rd and 4.
And this is probably going to be one of the big reasons why this is going to be such an even game, because both teams has plenty of weapons to either bring in or bring out. It doesn't matter on offense or defense.
Jance Lamb, the star quarterback for the PAC Panthers, heading into this weekend, 37 for 58 for 634 yards, QBR of 111.6 with 14 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Incredible stats on the rushing side, and even 14 tackles on the defensive side, getting action in on both sides of the ball. As they'll trust Lamb to the right side, airing it out, intended for Essig, and in coverage, incomplete. Zion Thompson defending the pass.
Zion Thompson, I don't know if you read his stats, but he is the big corner for Evangel. He's always stopping and always looking for the ball hawk. Great pressure by Evangel's defense and just great hands on it, Thompson.
Brings it up to a 4th and short, and the question for Coach Yeomans, you've seen this trend in the NFL where you talk about analytics will tell you to go for it or anything along those lines. You don't necessarily have those type of analytics in high school football. So you go with the gut feeling in a sense. And there's also been that talk of, I know what the stats say, but here's what my gut says. And it looks like Coach Offensive Coordinator Fremming said to go for it, and it's not going to help him there as Hayden Black, the senior, forces the turnover on downs.
And that's a tough call, especially on their own. I would have thought maybe you would punt and trust your defense, but as you said, the assistant, they're going to take a chance on their offense, and probably a bad choice with Evangel's defensive line just being monsters.
Only had 4 yards to gain, couldn't get it. Defensive line certainly stood strong against the Crusaders on Saturday. In total, the secondary for the Evangel Lightning, they actually did not enter any defensive statistics for that competition, only on the offensive side, but we were calling so many different names. We were getting passes defended, a couple fumble recoveries, interceptions. Had some great plays as this is a carry up the middle by Caleb Austin, who breaks free, getting past the secondary, trying to go inside the 10, and he'll get inside the 5.
And like I said, Evangel, this is not a running back. There's not a 1, there's not a 2, there's not a 3 running back. This is running back by committee, and everybody's getting a chance and a shot at running the ball, and they do it well. That's well coaching right there.
Another 1st and goal for the Evangel Lightning offense, trying to go up by 2 scores. The PAC Panthers defense trying to make a stand here to the left side, pushing to the goal line. Caleb Austin for the touchdown.
And Caleb Austin just give him the ball and let him do most of the work. And that's all it was, just the man and just taking it in for a nice little run.
Rushing touchdown number 15 on the year for the senior. 2-point conversion will not be attempted here. A chance to make it 15-0 for the leg of Kai Gray. Kai Gray on Saturday night had a total of 2 PATs. And this will go up to make it a 15-0 ball game, and dipped perfectly in time to hit the wall instead of going out to the road. 15-0 with 5:10 left to go in the first quarter. The Lightning are already up by 2 scores. Christopher Staniskavaj, the sophomore, will fake the boot, and they'll trust it over to Will Welch to boot it to the left side. And Connor Essig will call the fair catch at the 30-yard line. And we'll see if the PAC Panthers offense can make something here, especially you don't want to go down by too many scores against this Evangel defense and how stout they've been throughout the season. 12-0 overall, 4-0 in the ACSC, and continuously all year long the #1 team in the country. It's been a while since they've jumped out of that #1 slot, the Evangel Lightning. I think even with their loss to Ezekiel Academy in the state championship, or the conference championship, I should say, for the ACSC in 2020, they didn't move on their rankings. They stayed at #1 with just the one loss. It's been a long time since they've left the top seed in the nation. A big reason why is from games like this being up 15-0 early. Looking for the option across the middle. It's intercepted. Zion Thompson had 11 interceptions on the season, and add that to the tally, another turnover for this Evangel defense.
And I'm guessing Yeomans thought he had somebody wide open. Not a chance as he overthrew his wide receiver.
Got the officials having a discussion here. I didn't see a flag on the field, so I'm sure we'll get a clarification from Nate Starr in a moment. What a break for the PAC Panthers offense. Might be the spark they needed. And an interception there is ruled roughing the passer.
And I don't know about that call. I think it was right on time as the quarterback was releasing the ball, but ref knows best.
I didn't focus on that part of the replay. Did he contact the helmet or neck area or the legs?
I didn't see anything like that, but hey.
That's what we call a bang-bang play in those
sir.
circumstances. And certainly Nate Starr had the best angle down there. And regardless of the speculation that might happen from it, new life for the PAC offense on the 45-yard line. As the Evangel and PAC faithful, I should say, cheer on their teams as Yeomans up the middle for a gain of a yard.
As you can tell, this defense, they are not letting up. They are giving this offensive line a big challenge, just taking it head by head. Oh, look at that perfect power move by number 13. Even though he didn't get the tackle, that's one of those things where it's affecting and gets a guy free up, so tackle.
Clay Stanton, the senior on defense who you mentioned, heading into the weekend, 56 total tackles, 28 of them literally split down the middle with 28 of them on his own, 28 in assistance with the moves, 8.5 sacks on the year, and he's continuing to show up for this defense, and they'll opt to give it to Essig, who's got some blockers trying to get free to the outside. May have benefited him if he had kept going, and he will get maybe just short of the line to gain, waiting for the spot from the official, and he'll be stopped about a yard short of the first down.
And Coach told us earlier he was asking for the ball, pleading for the ball, and now that he's using that to his advantage. Great run by Isaac, and please believe he will be used plenty of time to help this offense.
Brings up a 3rd down and 1. And time called. Looks like Coach Smith will call his first time out of the half. And with 3:12 left to go in the first quarter, Coach Smith and company will think it over here in the first quarter of the NHSA National Championship for high school 8-man football. 3:12 left to go in the first quarter. Timeout burnt by the Evangel Lightning early on in this first half. And a 3rd and 1 for the Providence Athletic Club Panthers. With 1 yard to go, toss on the left side, the catch is made, a first down for Connor Essig. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's their first down of the game, or their second, and a good play by Essig to get open on the left side.
I believe that's their second, and they are working hard to get this offense. And hey, while you're at it, kill some clock. That's also what coach planned to do in the middle, and you're going to have to and keep scoring as much as you can.
This offense has multiple weapons that they can go to, have 100+ yards on the receiving side. Barkley, Yeomans, Essig, got Lamb, who's not, that does good things in the quarterback position, Cargo, McNulty, Reinert. And this time, Yeomans will just keep it himself, trying to push the pile, and he'll at least push it down for about a gain of 7, maybe 8 yards, get it to a 2nd and 3.
And it looks like the offensive line was finally getting tired of getting hit in the mouth and decided to strike back. That was a good move by the offensive line, able to push back the Evangel defensive line. Maybe a reality check for the Evangel defensive line.
And that was a similar thing Coach Smith told us talking to him on the field before the game, and that both coaches were saying Evangel's going to punch you in the mouth. PAC is going to punch you in the mouth. Both of their defensive and offensive schemes are going to be very tough and very physical, and we're already seeing that play out. Yes, it is one-sided, but been a couple of lucky breaks for the Evangel defense thus far. 2nd and 2, looking for the pass. He's brought down as he's getting tackled, up and incomplete. Pass intended for Yeomans, and see the sportsmanship in Yeomans helping Lumen come up on the field, and it's incomplete to bring up a 3rd down.
Give most respect to Yeomans, as he was smart enough to deflect that as he saw his quarterback get hit and just deny the defense back and try the interception.
And didn't have the reach to be able to pull it in himself. Great awareness from the junior as the Panthers face a 3rd and 1. You can give credit to the Evangel faithful. Get to that in a moment, as a scramble to the right side with the toss incomplete, just thrown away. A little bit of a mishandled snap by. They have Patrick Bennett, the freshman, in at the quarterback position now, and he just had to throw it away with the pressure. But I was mentioning that you could thank the Evangel faithful. Every play, every 3rd down, even if it's way early on in the game, they make it seem like it's so monumental, it's so critical for a stop to be made here, which you hear players talk about feeding off of that energy. And with 15-0 in the shutout by this Evangel defense so far, that energy's serving them well.
And they don't let up either. That's the great thing about the fans. And as a player, I know you build up from that, and you have the energy to keep going because you want to keep hearing them scream and shout for you. You want to hear your name being called.
And with that timeout called by the PAC Panthers, we'll head back down to Alex Chasen. Chance Lamb, thank you, Alex. Chance Lamb on the sideline being looked at. He's got a shoulder issue, talking with the medical staff over there, and certainly we hope that everything is all right with him. That's why they have, looks like Patrick Bennett in, the freshman, at the quarterback position, and you would hate for Chance Lamb to be out for the game with how great he's been. A 4th and 1, they're gonna try to take it up the middle. I don't know if he got it unless this pile gets pushed. The ball is loose. Indicator on the backside of where it went, and waiting for the spot. I don't know if he got it. waiting on the signal there, and the officials are going to make a ruling where they'll spot the ball. It was close. I don't know if there was enough on our angle. That was a first down. They ruled it in possession to the PAC Panthers, and there's a flag down on the field. Probably tack on another 15 for unsportsmanlike conduct. Maybe a player saying something on the field, which is not good. Unintentional, of course, but one of my few debuts on the PA system was saying not good, but Caleb Austin called there for probably chirping a little bit afterwards. I'm sure the coaching staff will be having a conversation, and we got a stoppage in play here, I believe, for the officials and chains to get in position. And they'll resume play there. Caleb Austin just getting a little hot-headed. Tensions are high here in the national championship, so it makes sense there. Just need to be corrected. PAC Panthers outside of the 10-yard line on a 1st and 10. Here's Yeomans going up inside, trying to push the pile, and he's down to about the 8-yard line for a gain of 3.
And that's just a perfect push by the offensive line, but also Yeomans just carrying that whole scramble here as they just watch on this replay.
You could see he's trying to push that pile at himself.
Yes, sir, but it's not enough when everybody gets gathered at that evangel because they're big enough and good enough to tackle.
Talk about the brotherly shove. He didn't have any brothers to help shove him on that play.
He didn't need anybody to help him. He's the brother himself.
Brings up a 2nd and 5. PAC trying to get a score before the end of the first quarter. And keeper for Essig. He's going to try to push through. Essig for the touchdown. 6 points on the board for the PAC Panthers.
And again, like I said, Coach told us earlier, Coach, give me the ball. I want to help this team win, and that's what he is doing. Doing whatever he can to help win this game.
The PAC Panthers needed a response, down by 2 scores. Trying to go for 2 here to make it a 7-point game. 22.4 left in the first quarter. And keeper for Yeomans. He'll make his way in for the 2-point conversion.
Just an easy walk in there. The offensive line punching that defensive line easily, making a big hole and big enough to walk it in.
And Coach Yeomans, you can see him embracing Essig on the play. Joyous about that. 22.4 seconds, as mentioned, left in the first quarter. You could tell this has brought new life into the PAC Panthers faithful who have traveled all the way from South Carolina to make their way down here. And Coach Smith regrouping it with his guys. And certainly you have these moments where the Evangel Lightning get punched in the mouth and have these sort of challenges. Coach Smith, Coach Joyner, the rest of the coaching staff, you know they're going to make sure to get these guys revitalized.
If it isn't now, they'll make it in the halftime, and that's when you have to be a little worried as a PAC Panther on how the adjustments are going to work.
And they'll trust Gage Taylor to boot it away. It sets it up on the 40-yard line. First quarter already staying intense. If pending anything on this kickoff return, we'll end with the Evangel Lightning winning the first quarter, and you take away that one fumble recovery. In essence, it could be 7-8 here or tied at 8-all.
You just have to move on as PAC Panthers, but they're doing their best to do.
And onside kick attempt. This recovered. Cole Romano trying to find some space, gets it to about the 47-yard line. Very rare that you see the Evangel Lightning have any mistakes on the onside kick. They definitely try it. Definitely practice on those leading up into the season. And the Evangel Lightning offense will get back to work with a good field position on the 47. And we talked about the depth of roster. You also see Coach Donovan over there. 100-pound pig that we had last night or enjoyed with homemade barbecue sauce and all the sides and fixings. They make sure to cater. And the other thing about the Lightning, they also make sure that everybody's involved in that. As here's Swords looking for Kay Joyner on the outside, incomplete, just outside of the reach of Kyler Barkley. And those schemes being drawn up by Hagen Joyner on those far passes on the wings, not abnormal, just didn't come to fruition.
And crazy enough, I thought maybe the secondary had a chance to pick it off. It was just high enough for maybe the wide receiver to get under if he was prepared, but he was worried about the interception, as he should be.
But to go back about the barbecue that's served there, so the Evangel team, any leftovers they usually serve to the other teams, including our broadcast crew, and some of the best barbecue you can get.
Oh, it's just amazing, and we're always grateful to eat some every time.
Here's Caleb Austin. 3 PAC Panthers swallowing him up on the 3rd down. And you see him getting fired up there.
This is going to continue. Like I said, you might not want to go up in the middle over there because that defensive line is definitely going to make you pay.
End of 12 minutes, a 7-point game. 15-8, the Lightning lead over the PAC Panthers in the 2023 National Championship for high school 8-man football. Start of the second quarter in the national championship for high school 8-man football. Evangel starts with a 3rd and 10 from their own 47-yard line. High up snap, flags fly, false start.
Here we go! Let's go!
Exactly what the PAC defense wanted, moves it back for a 3rd and 15. But you also think about how these type of penalties, it doesn't take long for a type of score, explosive play to happen. This PAC faithful are going to do what they can on their vocal part to cheer them on.
This is kind of shocking from Evangel. Not many penalties called on the defensive side, and now without much sound, they're finally getting that challenge of payback with all the sound that they're making on their own sidelines.
And another whistle, looks like Tim Smith. Coach Smith and Coach Joyner are going to think it over with another timeout called, with not even a second shaved off of the game clock, and they'll have a chance to try and think it over. And it's not normal as well for Evangel to have to burn multiple timeouts this early on. Usually they at least only have to burn one, but now second time that they've had to regroup.
And if that's the case, it seems like the players is probably a little rattled up, and maybe they're a little thrown off of this and not used to this much downpour.
Second quarter here in the national championship for high school 8-man football. Spencer Tomset, Brendan Daniel, Alex Chasin on the sidelines. Producer Theodore Fernandez, director James Shannon, Jamie Martinez running camera from the field. Bringing you all the action from Vernon, Florida for this 2023 tournament. We've been here since actually Thursday night, early Friday morning. The semifinals consolation game earlier and coming to fruition here for this national championship. 3rd and 15, Swords across the right side to Joyner, incomplete. Great coverage by Larry Reiner. Looked like it was just a drop pass from Joyner. Great coverage, and it forces a 4th down.
I believe that's just the quarterback not getting enough on there. Perfect route, just not a perfect pass.
Not something you see often from Kemp Swords.
Nope, probably one of the mistakes you only see from him. Hopefully that doesn't carry on with all the rest of the quarters.
And something you also don't see often from the Evangel Lightning, you'll see a punt away. Will Welch sending it deep, and fair catch called for by Brayden Shealy. And the PAC offense will get back to work 15 seconds into the second quarter. Lights coming on here in Vernon, Florida. You don't think about it until you see them come on with this kind of lighting. It's not dark, but it's starting to lose the sunlight. It's already an overcast day, so you don't realize it until they're turned on. The lights are actually really helping.
Yeah, the clouds kind of covered up the sunlight that we had left, and now that we're out here and the lights are on, it's a lot better to see, and maybe that'll help out this offense.
The Panthers will start from their own 23-yard line, trying to drive about 77 yards, and it'll be a carry up the middle, out to the 26. That was Cam Yeomans. And Yeomans on the season, 84 carries for 907 yards heading into the weekend. On average, anytime he carries the ball, it's about a first down, 11-yard gain. PAC Panthers to get here, 12-1 overall, 5-0 in the SIFA, number 5 on the NHSA rankings. They had a forfeit in the semifinals of the state playoffs, and in the backfield, down goes Essig.
There's that big punch from the Evangel's defensive line. Just watch this. They see it probably just easy cut in. Yeah, just no one touches him, and he's easy to get that tackle on for a loss.
Big loss on there. The down indicator says second down. It is third down, just getting corrected on the down marker. It's about a third down and 13. PAC offense needing an explosion here, and they'll just do a sweep to the left side, trying to get past the defense. He's down to the 25-yard line, and nowhere near the first down is Reinard.
And PAC just trying to give a little taste to Evangel of what they usually do to other teams, but Evangel knows those plays all too well and able to defend it. It's kind of like practice for them.
One of many things that Evangel does differently, usually the night before a coach's game and the night after, they have a coach's meeting, break down film intensely, trying to look at what footage is available for the team and try to break things down. Even that last night, we were asking them about defensive statistics were updated, and Nate Starr, one of the best in the business, and brings up a fourth down with the PAC Panthers using their second time out of the habit. As we were mentioning with the film study breakdown, they were meeting last night. We were asking them if they had defensive statistics updated, which they didn't put those in for their game against the Crusaders, but it makes sense because of the preparation they have leading up to it. Usually you would have all those stats updated because you have a week between each game, but it makes sense, and it happened with some of the other teams too, in that Tennessee Heat hadn't updated their stats leading into Florida even for the SEAC championship, and I believe the Crusaders, they didn't have their stats updated either, but it makes sense because of how much is required of you to get prepared for this tournament and the minimal amount of time you have in between.
Maybe it's just time to hire. Everyone needs to hire statistician, just to have on board. Yeah, just to have on board so we can all be prepared and get ready for these games. It's a lot harder to just watch film and try to get the stats that way.
The Lightning had their offensive statistics up to max preps, but their defense was standing strong in the semifinal. A fair catch called by Caleb Austin, and the Lightning will start on their own 46-yard line as the PAC Panthers look to get another defensive stop. Holding them only to 15 so far, trying to keep it from going back to a 2-score game. 9:31 left to go here in this first half in Vernon, Florida. Light rain expected to start in 16 minutes, so could get a more sloppy football game with an 80% chance at 5 o'clock. We'll see if they can get it off. Kemp soars across the middle. The catch is made. Clay Stanton trying to avoid the tackle. Takes two PAC Panthers to bring him down, but gets a first down at the 39-yard line. A great effort by Clay Stanton, who is hobbling a little bit and slow to get up.
He needs to be more worried of how he's carrying that football. It's a little risky to have it out like that, and if a defensive player was really paying attention, they would easily knock that ball out and make a fumble.
On the 39-yard line. Austin to the right of Swords. He'll hand it off to Austin. He's got a little bit of a gap. Cuts inside. Gets free. Gets past the last man. And Caleb Austin to the house.
You said make a little room. The offensive line made a whole bunch of room. Just watch. Everybody picks up their assignment as well, coach. Look at that. Boom, boom. Makes a few guys miss, and just all the rest is up to safety. Couldn't make the tackle, so he's free.
Caleb Austin, his second touchdown on the day. Looks like the Evangel Lightning to try and make this 22-8. One PAT successful so far for the junior. Two of them successful on Saturday evening. And this will be booted through the uprights and good. 22-8 with 8:47 left to go in the first half. The PAC Panthers managed to have some sort of response and a few defensive stands, but Caleb Austin tearing through the secondary. Christopher Stanis Cavage, the sophomore, has been trusted this time for the kick. And this is picked up by Kyler Barkley, trying to weave through the defense. He's got some space, two players he has to get through, and he is brought down by Josh Lumen. That was Kyler Barkley trying to get his team in prime position, gets him to about the 49-yard line. We'll see what the PAC Panthers can do with only about 51 yards to march down.
Awesome, that's great position by PAC Panthers on the return, and they're going to need as many yards as possible in order to get back on this boards again.
Offense of the Panthers only held to 8 points so far, trying to even up the score. They have not led today. From the 49-yard line in their own territory, they'll give it to Yeomans, who's got some space. Yeomans with a few blockers. Yeomans trying to go through inside the 35.
And he just stayed patient, followed his offensive line, and just followed.
And the last thing you want to see, is Yeomans clenching his leg. Hopefully it's just a Charlie horse or a cramp, and we will step aside as the medical staff tend to Cam Yeomans. Yeomans walking up on his own feet. Looks like it was just a little bit of a cramp for the PAC Panther junior. He has to stay out for one play at minimum with high school injury rules. And the clock continues to run. A great first down and 10 by Yeomans to put him on the 30-yard line of the Lightning. Got Essig. Will keep it himself and is immediately met by Cole Romano, the senior.
Cole needs to be easy with all his after that tackle, a little walk around and talk smack. This is not that type of game where you want to make those mistakes. Be cool, be easy, and just get your point across.
And whistles blown. The officials having a conversation here. Certainly we'll get a clarification from Nate Starr as soon as they're done with as officiating buddy Ronnie Perkins says to us, the business meeting, board meeting.
Probably a warning to both teams. Hey, ease up, guys. We get tensions are high, but
could also just be a clarification on something they saw or piecing the angles together. I'm not sure really what maybe happened on that play that would warrant anything. And James telling us to the side that Yeomans don't think he came out of that last play when he was supposed to. And I wonder what the rule book says about the penalties. Now Yeomans is going to the sideline. He's head to the sideline, but I don't know if that's a penalty or not. And I don't think we'll get a clarification here from the officiating crew, but that's likely what it was. And side official talking to Coach Yeomans about it. Looks like they'll resume play. 2nd down and 13. Have a carry up the right side and pushing through for about 7 yards. A big gain for Sean McNulty. On the season, he had 10 carries for 101 yards. Another gain of 7.
And this is what you call dragging a player. He showed the defensive guy meets him, but he is dragging him all the way for a couple of yards. Hold on tight, kid, because you're going to.
Brings it up to a 3rd and 5. On the 25-yard line. Panthers started out on their own 49, have marched it down 24 yards, trying to continue this trend. Here's Essig looking for the pass. He dumps it off, and the catch is made, trying to push for the first down. That was a catch made by Sean McNulty, and waiting for the signal. It's close to the first down marker. Yeah, didn't see the flag there, but regardless, it is a first down.
And I believe this is 32's second time of roughing the passer. He's going to have to start easing up on when he sees that quarterback and just, if the ball's gone, just walk away.
And another break situation there. A 1st and goal on the 8-yard line for this PAC Panthers offense. Knocking on the door to make it back to a 1-score game. Here's the carry up the middle. It's a direct snap to McNulty and nothing doing. Maybe a gain of a yard or 2. Actually, it looks like they'll spot him for a loss of 2 yards to the 10-yard line. And that's been a challenge for the PAC Panthers against this defensive line so far. Trying to punch it in at the last second or get to the line to gain has proven to be very challenging.
This is going to be a very physical game if they keep doing that too. Both sides are just going to keep punching each other until the end of the game.
Halfway through the second quarter. A 2nd and goal. Essig conducting the orchestra. And a timeout called by Coach Yeomans. Coach Yeomans will have a chance to think it over. Evangel has 1 timeout left. PAC Panthers burn their final chance to stop the clock on their own, and they'll think it over here. 5:47 left to go in the second. And you see both teams here. The chance for both of them to think it over in essence, and you've got You've got a Lightning defense that has held the Panthers to only 8 points at this phase, that has been worn in some senses. They've been battle tested throughout the season, haven't skipped a beat with not losing a match. And Tim Smith has only had 4 8-man losses in 7 seasons. He got win number 65 on Saturday, looking for win 66. And some teams wonder about what is. There's some who have the question of what's the point of going to Florida if Evangel's going to be in it because we can't beat him. But you have a lot of these teams that are still competing with the Lightning, and it's just one hasn't quite gotten the upset yet.
But this may be the team right here. The confidence is showing, and they are doing what they need to do.
Essex tried to get the pass off incomplete, brings up a 3rd and goal. To the right side, intended for Reinard. Either Reinard or Sheely, and 3rd and goal coming up.
See, the thing is not to have fear against a team like Evangel. They are beatable. Coach Tim Smith has said it plenty of times. We are beatable. You just have to do the right things. It's just a team like this is well coached. They're very disciplined. And as you can see, you can punch back, and it's not a problem.
You've also got Jance Lamb still on the sideline for the PAC Panthers, hoping everything goes well with him. And a 3rd and goal, big chance coming up here. Essig will hand it off to Yeomans, and he'll be swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. 4th and goal.
This defensive line just punching through. Everybody's free once the ball is handed off. He's able to get one guy off, but not against the whole team.
Just over 5 minutes left to go in the first half, and a 3rd and actually, the down indicator says there we go, 4th and goal. Is that a couple of times where there's been a little bit lagging behind? I'm second-guessing myself on that. 4th and goal.
Go what you got, Spencer. Just go what you got.
4th and goal. Patrick Bennett alone in the shotgun. They'll try to get a pass off into the end zone. To try and make it a 1-score game. Bennett just dumps it off to the top. Trying to climb the ladder was Barkley. Couldn't get up there. The pass a little too high.
Sometimes, especially for a pass like that, just keep moving and keep moving. Don't worry about the guy hitting you. If you got to take a hit just to get the touchdown, be a hero at all costs for your team.
You got Evangel. They'll swap sides, and with the turnover on downs and from their own 11-yard line, the Lightning will receive the ball to start the second half. They can burn some clock and march it down the field here. PAC Panthers need a big defensive stop if they want to try and keep the game reasonably within their grasp. Down 22-8.
This is Evangel's butter right here. Get the ball, run it, and cut off some clock.
And they do that with Swords going to the outside for a first down. Maybe slid down and tackled at about the 29-yard line. Looks like an assistant coach got taken out there, making sure that he's okay. Looks like he's all right. I think that was Coach Yeomans who actually got slid into there in what we call the splash zone.
He's going to have to stay healthy himself. He's already got a few players down. We don't need him to go down as well, but he looks like he took it like a champ and putting that hat back on.
You can tell if he also has a high standard for his son on being physical and tough, he's got to do the same thing even with getting slid into. And actually, it brings it back. Most of the time, if you got to be myself, I'll have to be more mindful of seeing the flags on the field, but most of the time when you have a big run like that and you see a flag, it's going to be holding on the offensive line. And a lucky break for the PAC Panthers. 1st and 15 inside the 10. Swords will take it himself as he does so well to the left side, and a first down saving tackle by Barkley gets to the legs of Swords.
One thing you have to notice about Swords as well, he's just like a running back. He's just waiting to see how the defense is looking. He's just patiently waiting for his offensive line to just block for him and able to get upfield just enough for a couple of yards.
Brings up with the gain of 10, a 2nd down and 5. And this is exactly what the Lightning offense has been known for all year with Swords. They keeps it himself or he passes it off. This time he'll pitch it to Joyner on the outside. Joyner will be stopped behind the line of scrimmage, and a flag thrown for a late hit. Ethan Lehman shoved him in, a little bit of arguing. Another flag with chirping on the sideline. And you already hear the Evangel Lightning fans getting into it saying you can't do that.
You're absolutely right. Lamb has to calm down. He's one of the leaders of this team, and it doesn't make sense for him to start chirping like that.
That was actually I believe it was Lehman, or may have also been Lamb on there who was getting the conversation in. And the officials will sort this out. Don't know if there was anything warning an ejection from that circumstance, just a little bit of high emotions.
I don't know. I saw a couple hands move and a couple of kicks. That's the worrying part. You wonder who's going to get kicked out. If not, it's going to be a nice little warning. If it happens again, you'll see some ejections.
Yeah, that'll be up to Nate Starr's crew, and certainly we had a not as egregious of a situation here. Certainly it didn't look like it was any too high of emotion spilling over. We had in the consolation game for the Division I bracket between Grace Baptist and Ezekiel Academy. They went to the tablet to see what happened on the play itself and could potentially have that here. The officials haven't called for tablet for any additionals reference, which the NFL's doing that now, and where New York can get involved on replays. In this case, YouTube is technically based in California, so I mean, you wouldn't be going to New York in that
Looks like
sense.
he's calling for the tablet.
And see what Nate Starr says here, and they are. They're going to look at it for. They look at it for the situation of ejections, and yeah, you see Alex Jason get the tablet over there to make sure they can reference it. Again, they're just making sure they get it right in this circumstance to know which players did what call and see the angle. Of course, you saw our sideline camera was a little bit there as well to see the tackle and make sure that they get it right in essence. Again, make sure who made the tackle, who initiated the personal foul, see what happened there. If it was maybe something the Evangel players said first, or if it was, now we don't have a microphone down there, of course, but see, you can kind of tell by body language which person may have said something first.
If you ask me, I'm thinking one of the Panthers players might have started something, but hey, it might have been even. Both of them might have sparked just something, been like, boy, get off me or something like that. I've been there. I've been close enough to hear it.
At the end of the day, just trying to get it right. If you go by technicality, the Florida High School Athletic Association does not have any provisions for replays, but tournament organizer Hank St. Dennis saying we have 8-man extreme on site. If the referee says it's good, we're good. And talked about it at the top. The consolation game, Nate Starr said, yeah, I want replay. Let's do it. Let's have it on standby, and it's for situations like this. As you see James walk in front of the camera there, trying to refocus on his shirt. He's got a nice, he's trying to focus in on James's thumb there. And rocking the brand, the 8=11, and officials just getting a last-minute clarification as the music's starting to play now as they're clarifying everything with 3:41 left to go in the first half. Officials do pick up their flags. Again, officials just trying to make sure they get everything right. And Nate was telling us about this in 2019 with that national championship. He pulled aside both of the coaches for Ezel Harding and for Evangel. He said, this is my field, when the emotion started spilling over, and had to probably going to do the same thing here with talking with the coaches, and we'll get a clarification as soon as they're done conversing. Yeah, Nate Starr is going to go over and talk to Coach Yeomans just to clarify what happened. I'm sure both the coaches have talked to their players and said the same thing of calm down here. You ever have any situations like this spill over in games that you've played?
Only maybe one time, if I remember, but nothing had to do with me. I was always tackled, get my business done, and walk away.
You didn't have any chirping with the defensive line or anything that got to that point?
Well, I was the defensive line, but when it comes to the offensive line, they chirped a little bit, but not enough for me to be worried. I let my game speak for it.
And again, they're still trying to clarify this situation here with Coach Yeomans, and I believe we've got Nate heading over to talk to Evangel's head coach Tim Smith, and Let's head down to Alex Chasen. What did you hear on that? What did you get on that perspective, Alex?
We're all happy, but right in front of Jamie and I, right here in the camera, the player gets tackled for the PAC Panthers, make the tackle, makes a little extra shove, and things got a little chaotic from there. Kind of hard to tell completely what was going on. Jamie and I were trying to get out of the way, but definitely a little chippy, and as we can tell, the refs are working on it right now, talking to both sides, figuring it out from there. They looked at the replay. They couldn't really get a good angle on it, so they couldn't really make a decision from there, so they're continuing their discussions as of right now.
A big loss. Larry Reinard got ejected for the PAC Panthers, and all the penalties do offset to get a 1st and 10. You hear both fans, both sets of fans upset about the calls or anything in those games, but Larry Reinard is done for the game, and unless he plays in Gatlinburg, done for the season. The junior, unfortunate situation there, but again, they made sure they were getting it right. 1st and 10 for the Lightning on the 32. Swords looking for the opportunity, airing it out, intended for Zion Thompson. He's got it! Zion Thompson, the senior, headed all the way for the touchdown.
Zion Thompson is big on defense, and he's showing he's big on offense as well. He just has it by himself. A nice pick play for the Thompson himself, and just able to get free on that.
After all that sorting out to do, after that stoppage, Hagen Joyner, Tim Smith, the coaching staff draw up, play like that deep on the wing, and another 6 points to make it a 20-point lead, looking to go up by 21. The PAC Panthers, will see how they respond with one of their star leaders ejected from this national championship.
Big defensive star leader, too, at that. He's been making most of the big tackles on the run plays, and now they'll have to make big adjustments.
Gray for the extra point. Perfect. 5 extra points on the evening, or on this tournament, I should say, for the junior. 29-8, the Lightning lead over the PAC Panthers in this national championship. .332 left to go in the first half. The Evangel Lightning capitalize on that offensive drive as this is high up and will be returned by Kyler Barkley, trying to find an escape. He gets down to the 36-yard line. And we'll see if the PAC Panthers can push it down the field with plenty of time left to go here in the second quarter. As you see the Lightning bench anticipating what will happen for the next play, players having conversations, and the PAC Panthers will try to march it down the field about 64 yards, try and get another score in and lessen the gap, especially without one of their star juniors.
This is when you dig in your bag here, either in the playbook or among your players. Maybe get some young guys that have done something in the past that'll help you out here.
And to the left side, the keeper by Essig and gets down to about the 37-yard line. The Evangel fans really excited about Grady Watkins and his tackle.
And he's been in that defense all day long. He's making either a sack or a tackle or a hurry. It doesn't matter. He's always there when you need him on defense.
Only a gain of about a yard for a 2nd and 9. A carry by Connor Essig, who is down. I believe that is Essig who's down on the knee, and the training staff will have to look at him after that tackle, which not a good sign. We will step aside for an injury timeout. Yeah, the good news is that Essig went to the sideline on his own feet. Will definitely have to stay out for at least one play. The refs will make sure of that. They had a little bit of confusion there with Yeomans not going out, and PAC Panthers back on offense with the clock running, trying to march it down the field and at least have some momentum going into halftime. Keep in mind, Evangel will receive the ball for the start of the second half. PAC Panthers have an important drive here heading into the locker room, and this will be a keeper by Yeomans. Yeomans pushing the pile. Evangel trying to pull him back, and down to the 40-yard line, 3rd and 5 coming up.
Yeomans so big and powerful, able to push the whole pile, and even got some help this time. He wasn't by himself.
Yeomans helping with the push. It gets down to about the 39-yard line, and this PAC offense already losing Reinard, and Lamb looks like he went out first. Haven't seen him back in the game. There's something going on. It looked like he was clenching his shoulder on the sideline. Hope he has a chance to come back in. 3rd and 5. Keeper again to the right side. Here's the carry by Braden. That was Braden Shealy going forward, and he's short by 2 yards.
And something we rarely see out of Evangel. A lot of missed tackles on that play. Watch as everybody's there. It's just 1, 2, 3, and then finally the 4th will get that done.
And now a 4th and 1. Saw the PAC Panthers go for it a little bit deeper into their own territory on the first time. This time they just have about a yard and a half to gain to try and extend the drive. They don't have any timeouts, 60 seconds left to go, and they will try to push forward. He's not going to get there. The Evangel defense stops him from getting forward, and a turnover on downs by this Evangel secondary.
And they tried to brotherly shove, but there was no brotherly shove there. It was all brotherly shove back. And at a time like this, I can't blame them for going for it, especially 4th and 2.
First and 10 from the 45. Pitched. This is Cade Joyner with some space. Cade Joyner trying to get to the 20. Cutting several tackles, not getting brought down. Finally swallowed up at the 25-yard line. A 1st and 10. And Cade Joyner, if he was able to avoid that last man, he'd be onto the end zone.
Well, it's perfect blocking by everybody, and maybe he just should have stayed right there and just taken the tackle right there. Instead, he just kind of comes back and try to gain more yards.
You've got the chains being set down to the 25. And substitutions occurring.
Coach is telling offense, hey, just get set, get ready. So we're moving as soon as the clock starts.
They'd start having a conversation with Yeomans on the sideline. One of the assistant coaches. It looks like we actually have we got a player that's down for the PAC Panthers who went down on the sideline. The medical staff looking at him, so we do have Didn't see who went down there. Looks like he may have been able to get up on his own. He's still down on the sideline, and we'll step aside for an injury timeout. First and 10. Swords to the right side. The catch made by Will Welch. Going to the outside. Will Welch for the touchdown.
I don't know what kind of tackle that was. You want to get lined up perfectly with the wide receiver. I don't know why you're trying to reach for his horse collar right there. Be a little worried. Right there is when you try to tackle him, but Will Welch is too good.
I did want to highlight as well, Carson Donovan was putting a hand on the shoulder of the PAC Panthers defensive line, trying to encourage him and everything. See, even with the Evangel Lightning being up, trying to be force of good in some sense, as the Lightning are about to go up by 32 with this PAT as it's through the uprights. And looked like it was, we didn't see which player was down on the PAC Panthers sideline. The Lightning now going up with a wider gap. Almost looks similar to last year's national championship with the Lightning going up against the Freedom Cowboys. That game ended up 55-26. Freedom kept it competitive for the first bit of time. Certainly still a lot of football to play. And you've got a half right now that is certainly in favor. It was 15-8 heading into the first quarter, and the Lightning have now outscored, if I'm not mistaken, 21-0 at this point, if my math is correct on there.
I believe so. But if you just keep your head up for your PAC Panthers, there's plenty of game left for you to make plenty of defensive stops, maybe a couple turnovers, get the ball back and score.
Maybe something on special teams, because you've seen the return attempt from Kyler Barkley has not really gone anywhere. The ball keeps going to him on the 25. And see if Barkley can find a space here, trying to shove down one of the Evangel Lightning players. Nothing doing. That was Eli Black, the freshman, who got his jersey underneath his shoulder pad on that. Managed to get the tackle down. And the PAC offense will get back to work. 19.3, no timeouts to use. Lightning have one timeout where they could stop it here, so maybe you'll see a shot or two, maybe some wide-out patterns on the left side, unless PAC is content with heading into the halftime locker room. And see if we can talk with Coach Yeomans before he heads into halftime. And
this might be one of those moments where you just want to take a knee. You've lost plenty of guys right now. Just take that knee and go to the half and figure it out from here.
And I don't think they're gonna. Don't think they have you on headset, Brendan. Looks like they got Yeomans and Essig in the backfield. Only one receiver wide out. They'll look for Essig, who's going to deep toss it on the right side. Looking for the catch incomplete. That was Zion Thompson, 13.1.
Not on Zion Thompson's watch, though, my boy. He's there for a reason. He's always able to find that ball wherever it's thrown, and he's got there super early. Could have probably got an interception if he got his hands wide on it.
Another chance for PAC to try and launch it down the field. Got Caleb Austin deep on the safety position. He'll move up a little bit. And they'll just keep it over to Sheely, trying to go forward and gets a gain of a couple yards, and that is going to do it for the first half. The Evangel Lightning going on a 21-0 run in the second quarter. It was 15-8. And the PAC Panthers will need to try and respond. You see Coach Yeomans talking to the officials. Try to get some clarity on the sideline there. Coach having a little bit of frustration. And you get a chance to talk with him in a moment. But first half has at least been more competitive than most of the other national championships we've seen. And down on the field, Coach Yeomans with Alex Jason.
It looked like you guys, momentum was looking like it was going to go your way, but then you couldn't convert on that fourth down. Ball goes back to the Lightning. They scored 2 touchdowns since then. Obviously now at halftime, looking like a different ball game. What's the message to your team at halftime now? Got a whole other half to play.
Hey, if they want a chippy game, we'll give them a chippy game. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we're making mistakes. We had to take some possessions away. We didn't. We can't give up penalties, which we did. There were some that may or may not have been called, but it is what it is, and I can't control that. So we got to play our game. We're going to play them full quarters, and if it's a chippy game, it's going to be a chippy game. I got to say. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Coach is right. If it's a chippy game, they'll try to match him to play a chippy game, and it's certainly been that way in some moments, but at the end of the day, the Lightning are leading 36-8 at halftime. We'll be back in about 19 minutes for the second half of the national championship for high school 8-man football on 8-Man Extreme. And we welcome you back to the second half of the National Championship for high school 8-man football. Alex Chasen on standby with Coach Smith.
All right, Coach, really simple. 2 more quarters before you're a 6-time champ. I mean, what was the message to the team right there?
Just keep playing, keep our heads, do what we do, just be us. That's all we want to do, just be us.
And one more, Coach. How does it feel to be like on the cusp of that? Are you even thinking about that right now, or are you just focused on 2 more quarters?
Well, I can't lie. Yeah, I'm thinking about it a little bit. Yeah, those kids that work so hard, most people don't know that we've lost 46. When we lose these 16 seniors, we'll have lost 47 seniors in 3 years. And our kids just keep stepping up. So I'm just proud of that group right there. They've done what we've asked them to do.
Thank you, Coach. I hear the energy. Good luck. Thank you.
47 seniors, thank you, Alex. 47 seniors total being lost on, I didn't even think about that statistic. And you think about, James was mentioning this yesterday on Extreme Talk, in that the Evangel Lightning, this is the 2nd edition of seniors that have won a national championship every year they've been in the program. Because 18 was essentially 4 years ago with 22 and now 23. So you have the amount of seniors that are on the team that were working through the Evangel system are now on the cusp of winning, you know, their 6th, their, a lot of them 4th straight national championship. But 47 seniors in the past 3 years, that is a testament to how you get people in the system and build them from the ground up.
And that just shows that not only is it a great environment to grow in, but also ahead on the coaching staff as they get these guys ready to go play even at a young age and give them the experience that they need. But also shout out to those seniors. They probably help coach those kids up as well, as you've seen plenty of times on the sideline during the game. Everybody's talking to each other, getting everybody lined up correctly.
Spencer Thompson, Brendan Daniel, Alex Chasen. You saw a few moments ago down on the sideline our producer Theodore Fernandez, director James Shannon, Jamie Martinez, who helped us with sideline reporting in one of the other semi, the Lightning and Crusaders semi, and in the consolation game earlier today between the Heat and the Crusaders. Proud to be with you in Vernon, Florida. This matchup has certainly been high in emotions. We head now to the 3rd quarter. Both teams will have their timeouts and getting excited for 2nd half coverage here. We've been, 8-Man Extreme has been proud to be on call for the national championship for high school 8-man football since 2018. Called it on the mountain in Dayton and called it every year since. And we got an onside kick that's at first muffed there and waiting for the signal. I believe Eli Black finally fell on it, managed to slip it back into his possession, and the Evangel Lightning will get the ball to start off on their own 45 after the onside kick attempt.
PAC Panthers trying to pull Saints against the Colts in the Super Bowl. They're trying to get that ball back and get a quick score so they can continue on with this momentum and hopefully, but that's not the case as you have Evangel. It's very disciplined.
And that's only their 2nd kickoff of the game, the way the scores have played out. And now the Lightning a few points away from making this a mercy rule. Swords. Quick screen to Welch. And Welch, it's an option play across the middle. That's a catch from Reed Castleberry. He couldn't pull it in. Would have been free away, and you could tell how upset he was.
Too much excitement for the young man. He's literally by himself. All you have to do is just bring that ball in, but you failed. Look at that. All you have to do is just sit there and wait. There's no jump needed. There's no one there with you. You're by yourself. Just catch the ball and run with it.
And the junior did not have a catch going into the tournament, and he, just to confirm, he had 1 catch for 15 yards on Saturday. He's trying to get his 2nd catch of the day there and potentially a score. Swords with the handoff to Austin. Caleb Austin tripped up in the backfield for a loss of about 2-3 yards. And that's exactly what the PAC Panthers need at this point.
Just the defensive line, like I said, you barely can go up the middle. If you're going to go face this defensive line heads up, it's going to be tough. Nobody barely touched him, and he's able to just tackle for a loss.
And the rain's starting to come down, held off until the 2nd half here in Vernon, Florida. 45 minutes north of Panama City Beach is where we are for this national championship for high school 8-man football. 3rd and 11. And they have Welch in motion. They will give it off to Welch. It's a double reversal, and Zion Thompson to the left side has some space, cutting inside, trying to get the first down. He won't get there. PAC defense swallowing up the senior on the rush, and it brings up a 4th down at midfield.
Usually most defenses get lost in this, but luckily one guy was able to cut him back, make him do a little cut back in, and the defensive lineman was right there to catch him.
And we've seen the Evangel Lightning go for it with such a short amount of yardage to gain. They're on the 48, make that the 49-yard line, and they'll have Swords in the backfield. Chance for them to convert, I believe their 2nd or 3rd 4th down of the day. Fake the handoff, and there's Swords going out to the left side. He's got the first down. Got it by about an extra yard, and another 1st and 10 for the Lightning.
Show me your confidence in your quarterback. Just give him the ball and make him do a fake, and he's able to get that first down. Not as easy, but he does it quite enough. Almost Lamar Jackson-like.
Gets to the 44-yard line. As the Lightning continue to burn clock, and especially precious time on the clock now for the PAC Panthers, and march it down the field. Man in motion, Swords looking for the pass option. He's got it, the reception made, and took 2 men to bring down Clay Stanton, the senior, and moves the chains for a 1st down.
And again, another mistake by the defense, just standing there, just letting him make the catch so easily. Sometimes you got to go up against that curl route and either try to deflect that ball or get a perfect tackle where he doesn't gain any more yards.
New set of downs on the 34-yard line for the Lightning. Swords threw a man in motion and scrambling. He'll keep it himself and get down inside the 25. Slid down, waiting for the spot. Maybe about a yard short of the 1st down.
Swords just being a smart quarterback, just tucking it in when he sees no one is open and he's getting rushed. Just tuck it in and run. You're a great quarterback to the point where you have those legs and use them.
He actually got the 1st down there to the 24-yard line, marching just outside the red zone are the Lightning, trying to enact the mercy rule of the national championship, which they've done so often over the years. And they will opt to hand this off to Brock Humphrey, the senior, giving some love to, I believe, one of the linemen or one of the linebackers who does not have. He has some carries on the season, 17 for 186 yards. Anytime he gets the ball on average, he's getting a 1st down, 3 total touchdowns.
I think plenty of other coaches that are watching, they can take this as advice. Use your big men. They are able, some of them are able to run as fast as you think they can.
Brings us now a 2nd and 6, and they'll run it up the middle again, and that's all Evangel really needs to do. Coach Smith, talked about it, just continue to play our game, and one of their other games is they score early, they go up by several points, and then just continue to rush to wind down the clock and make it almost impossible for you to make a comeback.
And it's so smart because once you have the points already on your side, it's all about getting that clock on your side now.
Interesting formation. Get it to the other side and get some, maybe a few yards. Get a 1-yard gain, a 4th down coming up, and likely another 4th down conversion attempt by the Lightning.
Perfect penetration by Alex. Just able to get that right in before he's even to get a few yards. Now it's going to make it difficult and harder for the coaches to make a call for this play.
You got the supportive cheerleaders for the Lightning on the bleachers here. And the Lightning faithful still cheering on their team as if they need this score to go up on points. Swords will opt to give it to Joyner, who will go to the left side, trying to get the 1st down and waiting for the spot. I believe he did get it, and he moves forward to move the chains for a 1st down.
That jet sweep is just so dangerous when it comes to Evangel, and you have so many wide receivers that are fast enough to get that first down and strong enough to even get through any defender.
Brings us to now a 1st and goal on the 10-yard line. And the Lightning score away from enacting the mercy rule. And to the right side, they give this over to Welch. Welch with the shovel pass behind is to Caleb Austin, who is so well at dissecting this defense, weaving through, tried to stay on his feet, and he's finally brought down inside the 5.
He's so patient as a runner. It's unbelievable how patient he is. He's just sitting there waiting for his opportunity to spark, and as soon as he sees it, he takes that advantage and he runs a good couple of yards.
And you wonder how this PAC offense-defense would have showed against the Lightning if their star quarterback in Lamb and one of their other stars on defense had stayed in the game. Maybe if Reinhardt hadn't been ejected, how much different the dynamics would be here. Swords looking for the option, rolling to his left, trying to find an option. He's brought down for the sack. A big stop made by Braden Sheely.
And that's what you need defensively. Stop the quarterback, hunt him down, and then cancel all his options when it comes to the passing play.
A 3rd and goal on the 11-yard line.
Look how much time they chopped off, too. I mean, we just started the 3rd quarter, and it's already about 5 minutes away into the 4th.
Already through the halfway point, and this has been their lone offensive drive. 3rd and goal. Swords muffs the ball a little bit, keeps it in his possession, and incomplete pass intended for Caleb Austin. It's 4th and goal.
Yeah, the rain kind of helped the defense on that one, made that ball wet enough where he couldn't control it, and luckily the deflection defense had to do the rest.
4th and goal attempt coming up from the 11-yard line. Another 4th down conversion attempt. Especially with the rain, you don't know if they could trust Kai Gray's foot from this distance. They'll opt for it here on a 4th and goal. About 11 yards to go. Swords across the middle on the screen, swatted down. Connor Essig forces the turnover on downs.
Lose one big star defensive player, gain another. Essig just making a good decision on the deflection. Perfect timing, too. A little bit earlier, he might have got that might have been a touchdown.
Providence Athletic Club Panthers from South Carolina. And in their first appearance in the national championship, they've been in the tournament before 2019. Down by 28 points. 4-possession game as they have to try to drive it down the distance. And they'll hand it off up the middle. This is a carry by Cam Yeomans, who's got a little bit of a breakaway. Cam Yeomans being chased from the backside. He's got Zane Barlow on his tail. Missed the tackle, 1 man to beat, and that might be the spark that the Panthers needed. Yeomans with the touchdown.
That's exactly what you need right there. Just a big offensive drive right there. One play and get it gone. Yeomans with a good, perfect run and able to beat both guys out.
The PAC Panthers looking for some sort of spark of life, and they got it there to make it a 36-14 game.
Perfect punch in the mouth of Evangel. And now you got to hope that defense holds up one more time enough to get another score in.
Trying to make it a 20-point game. Very much in a situation for the Panthers where they have to score, and they have to score quickly. Try and make it back on the 2-point conversion attempt. Going to the goal line. It is ruled no good. Ruled short was Sean McNulty trying to push through. And 36-14 the score with 4:41 left to go in the third quarter. The PAC Panthers may be showing some new life in the national championship. PAC Panthers will boot it. Gage Taylor not opting for the onside kick attempt. Here's Cade Joyner to the right side. Has a few blockers, one potential man to beat, and he's staying in bounds. Couldn't be brought down by the tackle, and they rule him down, stepped out of bounds. That was Cade Joyner, the junior, trying to get the big return, but stepped out at the 37-yard line. And now the Lightning offense will go back to work. They already chunked off almost 6-7 minutes of game time, and if the Lightning stick to that and don't allow any breakout plays like the PAC Panthers, it won't be any issue for them. But now you have a situation of the defense has to certainly step up here.
This is a big moment for them, and I'm sure they're up to the challenge.
There's a carry up the right side, and Brock Humphrey stopped after a gain of 6 yards.
It's a good couple of stops. You gain a couple of yards, but hey, you can always stop them in the next drive.
Rain starting to come down here in Vernon, Florida. About the same amount of rain it was yesterday. It's not
Saturday.
pouring. It's not pouring in excess, but it's still raining down.
He means Saturday, people.
I keep saying it like it was yesterday, Saturday. Yesterday it was cloudy, overcast, as this is carried up the middle by Colton DeRoe, the senior, to get a first down for the Lightning.
Just the offensive line able to punch the defensive line back, and on the road just doing the rest of the job and just getting a good first down. And it's like that game plan you were talking about. Get the ball, run that clock down too while they're at it. Taking their time, calling the offense.
First and 10 from the 49-yard line. Evangel in their own territory as they continue to try and march it down the field. On the first and 10, they'll hand it off, and an opening potentially for Colton DeRoe as he's brought down, forced to be stopped right about at the line to gain, and wait for the signal on the first down. They'll look at the spot there, and they will move the chains for another first down, and the clock will continue to roll.
Just give DeRoe the ball and move out the way. He's a very patient runner, wait for his blocks, and just taking the right time to get that first down.
McNulty a little bit slow to get up for the PAC Panthers on that tackle. Now first and 10 on about the 42-yard line. New set of downs as the Lightning continue to march down the field. Now a breakaway for Caleb Austin, weaving through the defense. He's got one man to beat and two men, finally bringing him down inside the 10.
Kid is a hard runner. Even when you think you got him, you don't. He's able to just slip by you and get a good couple of yards, just enough to get close to the end zone and possible touchdown here soon.
Caleb Austin has already had a great showing here in Panama City, trying to continue that trend as he marches it down the field even further.
I say just give him the ball back and let him do it again.
Swords Up the middle, carry by Austin, diving for the goal line. He's short.
Like I said, just Caleb Austin, he's so patient with his offensive line. If I got a replay, it'd just be so easy to show everyone how patient he is. He waits for his offensive line to block and finds a perfect hole to hit up the middle and just gain the yardage.
And now a 2nd and goal with 1 yard to gain. 1 yard to get to the goal line. Evangel trying to respond to that PAC breakaway by Yeomans. Just over 60 seconds. Here's Kemps up the middle. Austin, touchdown.
I believe that's his 3rd touchdown. I believe he's the big guy. He's the bell horse, as I said. This team runs by committee when it comes to running back, but he's their main guy when it comes to it.
Been incredible on the day. Chance to make it a 29-point lead here in Panama City. PAC Panthers looked like they may have had some life on the evening. As this point goes the distance and still stays inside of the walls, bounces off of the top. 1:02 left to go in the 3rd quarter, 43-14. The Lightning leading over the Panthers. Kickoff by Welch, high up, and there are flags flying. Maybe a kicker offsides. Kicking team member offsides, I should say. And looks like we had an announcement that was just on the kicking team, maybe out of range, and moves it back 5 yards without a legal procedure or offsides. One of the two. 1:02 left to go in the 3rd. Don't forget to stick around after the national championship prize presentations. We'll honor the all-stars or all-tournament players for both the PAC Panthers and the Evangel Lightning. Most valuable player, present the trophies for 2nd place and 1st place. And it is knee down. And there's a little bit of a tackle at the end there. Gage Taylor with Chase Green. And no call on there. Didn't look like it was anything necessarily malicious, but see both of them just kind of walking away from it. And the PAC Panthers back on offense. 60 seconds in the 3rd quarter for Providence Athletic Club to work with as they have to march down the field about 53 or 54 yards to get to the end zone. Large mountain for the PAC Panthers to climb if they want to start a comeback. They got an explosive touchdown on their first offensive play deep in their own territory. We'll see what the offensive coordinator Fremming cooks up here, especially out their starting quarterback. And they'll hand it up the middle. Here's Yeomans again. We'll get a gain of about 5 yards.
Wasn't able to get away that time, but got enough yards to maybe get a little bit of breathing room to get more yards for a 1st down.
2nd down and 5. And there's tripped up in the backfield, the defensive line not reading it, and whistle's blown is ruled down by contact. Potential fumble by Barkley. Ruled down by contact and continue to wind the clock.
With as many bodies like that, you want to keep it just down. It's going to be tough to call if that's a fumble or not.
And potentially no sense of urgency from the Panthers. 20 seconds left in the third quarter. It looks like they're just gonna, looks like the team is gonna opt to walk over and let the quarter expire. And a 29-point lead for the Evangel Lightning over the PAC Panthers. 12 minutes separate the Lightning from their 6th straight national championship and separate the PAC Panthers from making a potential miracle comeback. Back in a few moments here on 8-Man Extreme for the 2023 National Championship for high school 8-man football. We welcome you back to the National Championship for high school 8-man football, and we head down to our sideline reporter, Alex Jason.
Welcome down to the field, everyone. 12 more minutes of football to be played before the Lightning are 6-time champs. Wild. Yes, it is raining, but the field conditions are perfectly fine. No one's slipping, no one's sliding, but the rain is coming down. But 12 more minutes of football to be played. We're going to have a 6-time champ celebrating. It's going to be a lot of fun. Back up to you.
Thank you, Alex. As field sides are switched, Essig with the pass off to Barkley. It's incomplete. Shaves 6 seconds off of the game clock, and it's now a 3rd down and 7. And very much a situation now, every drive has to be a score for the Panthers to make any sort of comeback.
It's do or die time now. When it's do or die time, you got to be very efficient and very well aware of your downs, the time, and get up quickly when you get that ball on the first down if you do a running play.
Now a 4th down and 7 as this PAC Panthers offense again fighting without their quarterback, try and keep themselves in the contest. Third quarter saw their first score since the first half where they had 8 points. Timeout called by the PAC Panthers. That's their first of the half. 11:54 left to go in the game, and coach having a chance to think it over. And that's the challenge you also have in high school football of trying to make sure you don't take any penalties. And certainly you will think that that timeout come back to bite them if there's a score or two that happens for the PAC Panthers going into this drive.
Well, that's when you tell your team, hey, now we lost a timeout, so you guys are going to have to be on your A game and be able to move quickly when I need you to spike that ball.
Lightning just had a very brief conversation, and you saw one of the other assistant coaches, Coach Thompson, who his son's on the team. You see Coach Hagan Joyner, Coach Smith, but interesting thing about Coach Thompson, he worked for Alabama as one of their leadership coaches in strength and conditioning. And he's talking about the time he got to spend with Saban. He at Alabama had seats on the 50-yard line, 45-yard line essentially. And you get to, certainly I know as a Georgia fan that mentioning anything about Bama or Saban gets a little bit infuriating, but to work for one of the best coaches in college football history, still to being able to transcend that to the Evangel Lightning is pretty special.
And it showed. I mean, they're here for a reason. 6-time national championships. And you know what? I'm okay with that, Spencer, that you mentioned Alabama, because you know at the end of the day, we stole Kirby Smart, one of your best recruiters in there.
Yeah, Kirby, of course, worked under Nick Saban, and the success that Georgia is now the standard #1 team in the country on the college football rankings. Sure you're happy about that. As Brendan, anytime he sees any of the Bama merch being worn by the crew, he's a little bit infuriated, but just plays it off jovially. As to the right side, there's Zion Thompson with the carry. He'll be forced out of bounds at about the 29-yard line, which does benefit the PAC Panthers for a 2nd down and 8. And this is very much the time where you're seeing peanut punches being attempted.
All you have to, it's a turnover game, and since they're going to try to run the ball, run the timeout, you know, just do your best to try to punch that ball out as much as possible. Maybe even place your helmet on the tackle.
Brings us to 11:40 left to go. There was a timeout on the field. Didn't hear if it was an official's timeout or official time called. Looked like it was maybe a ball spotting situation, but regardless, there's a time on the field. I think is that Evangel called the timeout, so they've burnt their first of the 2nd half. Two timeouts left for either team. And actually it was a stoppage of play by the officials, and because the clock continues to run, as Swords will air it out, intended for Caden Joyner, and he's got it! He beats his man of Sean McNulty, and Caden Joyner takes it all the way for an Evangel touchdown.
Hey, Joyner, just a great wide receiver, able to just release from the secondary and get an easy touchdown score. Very physical call by the offense as well. Wasn't expecting a passing play, honestly, but when you got all guys out and the quarterback's by himself, you gotta be expecting that and get ready for it.
And that's the challenge that any team going into Florida was going to have. The Lightning have just been dominant all year long, and PAC Panthers certainly doesn't help with losing some of your stars early on in the first quarter. And Kai Gray, no good. One of the, I believe, the only missed extra point attempt he has had on the game.
Maybe he should have gone a little bit to the left.
And 49-14 the score here in the 4th quarter with 11:18 left to go. Spencer Tomset, Brendan Daniel, Alex Chasen, producer Theodore Fernandez, director James Shannon, and Jamie Martinez run the camera and tablet on the sidelines. Proud to be with you in Vernon, Florida. Most of us got in early on Friday in the morning, some on Thursday. Beg your pardon, most of us got in early on Friday evening/morning. 2 games on Saturday, a little bit of a rest. Had the show for Extreme Talk at 4 in the afternoon yesterday, and some of the hardest working men and women in the business here on site, as Sheely to the right side gets stopped at about the 22-yard line, and the PAC Panthers will try to go back to work to try to shave down this deficit. Again, a situation of having to score quick and fast, and several of us on site the entire weekend trying to finish out the weekend. Same with the teams here. The National Championship Tournament for high school 8-man football has been going on since 2011. Hank St. Dennis and Mike St. Dennis both in coordination efforts for getting the whole tournament functioning. And certainly a lot of challenges over the years that both of them have faced with getting the tournament right, and the hurricane issues in 2018, moving it around, and certainly a slew of challenges as this is slung incomplete. Almost intercepted the pass intended for Essig, but for everything that leads up to the tournament and looking at the rankings, and got stoppage of play here, whistle blown with incomplete pass. 32 of the defense has a personal foul there. It looks like we may have dead batteries on the referee's lapel mic. Fortunately, Nate Starr's voice projects enough to where we can hear him even with our headsets on. But with everything that's gone on with, Hank and Mike and the amount of
move around, especially this year not having Pete Edwards-Fields, for them to move everything around and get the championship run. Everything's run fairly smoothly for not just on our end, but on the tournament coordination side.
Yeah, that's a call to blessing sometimes when they're able to do that. I know how hard it is to get this stuff together, but they do it every single year and do a great job at that.
Mishandled snap, picked up, fallen on, I should say, by Krupchik, the senior, recognizing ball being loose and brings it back for a 2nd and long. They got a break on the defensive personal foul, and now back for about a 2nd and, as James would say, a quarter of the field.
And that rain is affecting that ball now. It's wetter than usual, and they haven't been used to that as we've been having cloudy weather. And now that you have this problem, he's going to have to learn how to just hold on to that ball tightly. And
number 1 seed in the nation, showing why they've been number 1 all season long, facing off against the number 5 team in the country, and the PAC Panthers had their struggles, losing their starters. Tossed up, and what a catch! In coverage with 2 men around. Looked like that was Kyler Barkley who made the reception. And there's a flag at the end.
they'll know why the extra stuff from the offense, or maybe it's just from the defense. Either way, calm yourselves. The game is basically over. Just move on and take the win or the loss.
It's a personal foul. I think I got on the PA system again. I think the referee's microphone is dead at this point, unfortunately. But personal foul on defense, and they will move the chains for another first down. This goes all the way to the 44-yard line with it being added to the end of the run.
Hey, there you go, Kyler! Keep it up!
From the 44-yard line, the PAC Panthers with 7:40 and winding down left to go in the game. They'll pitch it in the backside. Carry up the middle. Brandon Shealy. And whistles being blown. They're trying to shut down the excessive chirping, so to speak. No gain on the play for 2nd and 10.
You can hear the coaches, even on Evangel's side, yelling, stop, stop. There's no need to be too physical and aggressive. We won the game. Just take it and go.
And you see there's not really a sense of urgency from the PAC Panthers being down as much. And down by, I believe it's now 35, especially with a running clock at this point, not really any sense of urgency.
Well, now they're just probably prepping for the state champions game, see what kind of plays work and what don't, and just chalk it up then.
As this is a carry up the middle, and carry there by the junior Yeomans will get up to about the 36-yard line. And you're right, they do have the state championship to worry about next weekend. I believe that happens on Friday or Saturday for the SIFA game. It's this coming Saturday, and so they certainly have to look forward to that. They've got essentially 5 days rest until that next competition, trying to win that as their #1 team. Well, they also have that day of travel tomorrow, because to my knowledge, they won't be heading back on after this competition. So Tuesday, they'll essentially have 4 days to turn around for that state championship. Trying to regroup for that and reassess, as this will be a carry for Shealy. To the right side there's a flag on the side, and I believe that was another flag on the back side. And we'll get the call from Nate Starr. That's now 3 personal fouls on the Evangel Lightning secondary. Now about 5:30 left to go in the game. And PAC at least has a chance to march it down the field and get this ball back. And on the 24-yard line, they'll try to push through for another, to try and at least stop the mercy rule.
It's just the Evangel Lightning's defense getting all aggressive for no reason. You've already won the game. Just do what you need to do. Forget the trying to get a fumble started, and just stop the guy and just get the clock rolling.
carry on the right side by Yeomans. Will lose about 3 yards. You know, number 5 team in the nation, their semifinal was supposed to occur this past weekend. It was a forfeit. Another team decided to forfeit in that regard. I believe had too many injuries for them to be able to play their competition. So automatically the PAC Panthers going to the conference championship on Saturday. A little bit of minimal rest, so they'll have played 3 games in the span of 8 days, which will certainly could be a factor heading into that state game. And encroachment called on the defense.
There you go, boys!
And move it another 5 yards. The defense, I believe, with these backups of Evangel, just showing a little bit of sloppiness towards the end of the game.
Fine number. I feel like I was watching Tennessee Heat with all these penalties being called.
You're right. The Heat were getting called in clutch situations, unfortunately. Just couldn't have the discipline. And airing it out towards the end zone, looking for the chance, and it is incomplete. And no flag called. Looked like it could have been a pass interference, but nothing doing.
I'm shocked at that because that was super obvious. Guy just got there too early, tackled the man, honestly. Why wouldn't you call that? That's a bad play on the refs.
Just over 3 minutes left to go in this national championship. Evangel looking to win their 6th straight. And you think about how this story started. Christian community defending their national championship in 17. The plan was to go to Panama City Beach. Then the Lightning beat them on the mountain 36-20. And following year that would have broken up their streak. It was a 92-90 game in overtime. The Lightning, a miraculous finish, got it done. And you see the tackle there by Hayden Black. And still see the sportsmanship there. Joshua Lumen helping him up. And I think at this point, with the most valuable player, it's safe to say Swords is the most likely candidate.
I don't know about that. You must be forgetting about Caleb Austin.
Caleb Austin was fantastic, too. That's the challenge on this. Both of them were doing pretty well. But you think about between Swords and Austin, think about the most valuable player in that regard. It's a tough competition between the two.
I put it like this. Swords gave you what you need yards-wise, and he did what he's supposed to do. But Caleb Austin got you exactly where you needed.
Great triple sack in coverage. And that's on the 4th down. That has been the story of the game for the PAC Panthers. Again, stick around. We'll have the prize presentations on the field for the national tournament. We'll honor the All-Stars for tournament for the PAC Panthers and the Lightning. We'll have the most valuable player of the tournament honored. And chat with the victorious head coach, Tim Smith, and whoever the most valuable player is for the Evangel Lightning. Just a few kneel downs, and that's what it'll take to get us to the end of the national championship in regulation. Coach Smith, all the coaches for the Lightning are on Gatorade hunt. All of the coaching staff already taking off their headsets. You're on Gatorade watch. And one more knee down should do it. Again, there's a knee down the side there. They're looking at Coach Smith, seeing it. You see he braces Coach Donovan and the teams. It's so unprecedented. You see the players on the right side looking to dump Coach, see if they can get over to it. One more knee down, and still on this kind of hunt. You see there walking over to him. He can already see it. He's shaking hands with everybody, and one more knee down will get it done. And the dynasty for the Evangel Christian School Lightning continues. 6 straight years for the Evangel Lightning to win the national championship for high school 8-man football. As they tried to dump Coach Smith, he wasn't getting there. Shakes hands with the officials, dumping several of the coaches, and the Lightning are champions once again in Florida.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head down to the field for the prize presentations for the National Championship for High School 8-man football. We will be back in a few moments here on 8-Man Extreme. The Lightning, for the 6th straight year, have won it all. Jance Lamb. Connor Essig. Kyler Barkley. Evan Patterson. And Sean McNulty. And now your 2023 All-Stars from the Evangel Christian School Lightning. Hayden Black. Caleb Austin. Kemp Swords. Cade Joyner. Grady Watkins. And Josh Lumen. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for your All-Stars from the championship game. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for the runner-up for the 2023 National Championship for high school 8-man football, the Providence Athletic Club Panthers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your most valuable player for the 2023 National Championship from the Evangel Lightning, Kemp Swords. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it started in 2018 on the mountain in Dayton, Tennessee, for 4 years straight in Panama City Beach at Pete Edwards Field. And now from Vernon, Florida, your 6-time national champions for high school 8-man football, the Evangel Christian School Lightning. And ladies and gentlemen, I am joined on the field by the most valuable player for the national championship in Kemp Swords. You know, Kemp, last year Will Welch was at the starting quarterback position, and going into the season, Coach put his trust in you to be the leader of this offense. What did that mean to you for Coach Smith and Coach Joyner to trust you to lead this offense?
I mean, it means a lot, and everybody when I got here, they all thanked me, and they're all brothers. I couldn't do it without them.
And certainly in this game, it was a defensive-heavy game. How about the defense showing up against the PAC Panthers?
No, yes, sir. It's just they got to hold the rope, and we went and scored.
You are the 2023 national champion in high school 8-man football, and on top of that, most valuable player. How does that sound?
Oh, it feels great.
Congratulations, your most valuable player. And now, the coach. And now the coach in Tim Smith. You know, Coach, we were talking pregame, and you mentioned on the film that this was going to be a tough physical battle and that they would punch you in the mouth. They certainly did on the start of the first quarter, but from there, you just held strong. What did you tell the team after that first drive by the PAC Panthers?
Yeah, no, we know they're very well coached. We knew they were physical up front. They never quit punching us in the mouth. They punched us in the mouth all night long, all the way down to the last drive when they had the ball. They kept playing. They really did. They punched us in the mouth.
And in the offseason, we were talking with Coach Joyner. He was originally planning to step away to take time with family. He said you called him in the offseason and said you still want him around. How much does it mean to you for him to stick around and be a part of this team?
I thought he quit. No, it is special. You know, he's my nephew, and I holler at him every now and then, but I love him, but he does such a good job. And when you got people around you that you can trust, that you know's got your back, like all my coaches, that means a lot. You can go do a lot of things when you got that.
6 years straight. How do you reset and do it all over again for 2024?
Yeah, I don't know. We just we'll go back to work. You know, we'll go home next week, and we'll start planning for next year.
I'm guessing that the post-game tradition of a Dr. Pepper and oatmeal cream pie is ready on standby for you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you can't come to Panama City and not get that.
Congratulations, Coach. Your 6-time national champions for high school 8-man football, the Evangel Christian School Lightning. Here on the field for the 2023 National Championship for high school 8-man football. Spencer Tomzett, Brendan Daniel, Alex Chasen. I mean, it's sometimes hard to come up with more things to talk about with this Evangel Lightning team because of 6 years straight and being so unprecedented at the high school level. But what it really came down to in this game, Brendan, was that the PAC Panthers lost several key players early, and from there, the Lightning just stood as tall as they usually do.
Yeah, and the injuries hurt them really bad. A lot of key players that they lost, but a lot of them just stepped right back up and tried to do what they could just to keep them in the game.
And I mean, from your field vantage point, you were also part of that brawl that saw one of the PAC Panthers being ejected from the game, and how unfortunate of a situation it was from there. But from your vantage point, it just looked like the Lightning were firing on all cylinders.
Absolutely. I mean, this is my first time down here covering this event, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. The Lightning are no joke. They fire on all cylinders. They are well coached. I mean, you just interview the coach. I mean, he's just chilling. He's ready, you know, each day in and out. He knows what he wants his team to execute on, and they did exactly that down here in Florida. Once again, now 6-time champs. It was insane. I will say, power hitters. I mean, I watch a lot of football. We all watch a lot of football. And for high school, they hit like some grown men. And I mean, for the PAC Panthers, they're kind of undersized a little bit. And they were really taking a beating all game long. It was tough to see that, but, I mean, the Lightning. Big, strong, powerful. They did that all game.
Yeah, Coach Smith mentioned 47 seniors graduating over the last 3 years at halftime to you, and it's just to show a testament of how many of these players. This is now the second straight championship where they've had they have players who were freshmen. I believe it's actually third where they've had freshmen all the way through seniors who have continually experienced being national champions. So 3 years in a row, and you still have a team that's so deep in the junior side, the sophomore side, and the freshman side. It's a testament to how they start the players young, and we saw it a couple years ago with the Evangel Lightning Blue team in the Division II championship, and how they, even at the freshman and sophomore stages, they're still playing very well.
It's just culture building, and when you have a culture like that where you just have young guys coming up and continuing, they're learning from the older guys, and those older guys are teaching the young guys. It's just amazing what this culture brings, and now there's just a higher expectation for every little person in that locker room.
Right. If you're doing that 6 years in a row, it just shows, because, I mean, you're only in high school 4 years. It just shows the culture that has been built, because there's guys who are just coming into the program, and they're winning. So it's just another testament to that, exactly.
And Coach Smith, it also affects to the kind of culture. It starts from the top down, and anytime you interact with Coach Smith or anyone on this coaching staff, seems like there's never a chip on their shoulder or any sort of mantra of we're better than you, no matter who they're interacting with. And it shows a testament to how that has continued to work, not just on that side, but you certainly have to win games to be able to have that be sustainable and, in a sense, have it still work. And for Coach Smith and company, they still continue to make it even better in that regard.
Absolutely. So not nonchalant, but they're just so chill and calm about it. I mean, they're champs for a reason. They just so calm, and they just keep doing their thing, and definitely they do not have an edge or any cockiness to them whatsoever. And they have all the right to be cocky, but none's there, and they've won just again.
Only 4 losses in high school 8-man football for Coach Tim Smith, and he got win number 66 and here in Vernon, Florida for the national championship. You guys ready to get some seafood after this?
Oh, yeah.
Get
There's some great shrimp down here.
Down in Panama City Beach. Well, we've had a blast covering the entire tournament for you here from Vernon, Florida, and looking forward to next year to see who are the teams that end up in the national championship. For Brendan Daniel, Alex Jason, Jamie Martinez, our producer Theodore Fernandez, and director James Shannon, all of the hard-working men and women that make this run so smoothly. I'm Spencer Thompson saying so long from Vernon, Florida. The Lightning are champions once again on the national stage.